What's going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfaun Orbital. So today's demo video is going to be for the 7Chambers SKIG, SK in-game version of Starkiller's Hilt. Very beautiful hilt, quintessential Starkiller for anyone who is a Starkiller fan from 7Chambers, right? So for this install, I did do a hybrid brass reveal, crystal chamber reveal chassis, right? So I do want to come into Fusion and talk about the chassis design, and then we will come up top and do a quick demo, put a blade in it, and do all that good stuff, right? So with all of that out of the way, let's come into Fusion. All right, so here it is, the chassis for the 7Chambers SKIG. And no, your eyes do not deceive you. That is a very small battery. All right, so one of the requests for this commission was to have a secondary crystal chamber. And the only way to do that for this particular install is to have the compromise that you have to make is a shorter battery. So this takes a flat top 18350 battery in it. And that's why it's such a tiny little baby battery cover in this, okay? So let's start at the bottom. 28mm speaker down here. Around back, here is where our Proffie board will live. It will tuck up underneath this lip, slide forward into these two forks, okay? Around back, this is where our battery is, right? So we've got a battery cover here that is held in place with some rectangular neodymium magnets, nice and strong magnets they are. Kill switch is here. I have designed it so you can hit your kill switch without taking that battery cover off, okay? So kill switch is here. On each side of the chassis are two rectangular LEDs, right? I've got a blue and a red one on each side of the chassis. And then, of course, making our way up here is the crystal chamber, all right? Full brass crystal chamber. All the brass parts were done in polished brass and then weathered, okay? But yeah, super happy with how this one came out. Not a lot of space to work with, obviously, if you're you got to consider the battery and all that, but really happy with how this one came out. The entire chassis marries up into the upper part of the hilt with a set screw, right? And the chassis is just static. It lives inside of the hilt. But that's it. Nice and easy. Let's come up top. All right, so here it is, the SKIG from 7Chambers. Again, so for those of you who are big Starkiller fans, the 7Chambers Starkiller is one of the best versions that stays very true to the in-game design, right? And again, I like installing these because there's plenty of room in the grip, very generous amount of room to get your wires installed, your switch wires, your PCB wires. So great hilt, really, really solid hilt, okay? So let's take a look at this chassis. To get at your chassis, you want to unthread that grip, okay? So here's the chassis. All of the brass parts have been weathered. Crystal chamber is up here. Here is that battery cover. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take the battery off. Battery cover, a little baby, dainty battery cover here, right? So really strong magnets hold that battery cover in place because it's so small. There's not a lot of weight for them to hold in place. Not as much weight as a full-size battery cover, right? But there is that kill switch as well. Okay, crystal chamber, obviously. Okay. So to use this guy, this chassis has been sized for a flat top protected 18350 battery, okay? Spring side is your negative, so go ahead and put that battery in your battery tray. I'm gonna put the cover back on. You can hit your kill switch. Okay. There are those two rectangular LEDs there, and then of course that crystal is lit. Both of these crystals are their own blade in the config. However, this one has been set up with sub-blade with the main blade, okay? And then those two rectangular LEDs are their own blade as well, okay? All right. So once you get your battery in, you can put your grip back in place. Till it stops, nice and perfectly clocked, and you're ready to go. Okay, and that's it. Let's come down to the bottom. Okay, so there's that lit PCB emitter. This has a blade plug that came with the hilt. So this hilt came to me with a red crystal already in the crystal chamber. Okay, So that's been reused. To you, the customer, I did mention, I just set this up with the stock blade configs that I usually send with these kinds of installs. But if you want that crystal to be more pronounced, obviously you can change this color to be red. Right now I think it's set to like cyan, right? That's why it's giving a little bit of a contrast with that red crystal, okay? That can be changed, right? So let's put a blade in it. All right, so this will take a 1-inch blade. This thumb screw back here will serve as your blade retention. I'm gonna go ahead and take the blade plug out. 1-inch blade. Rest the blade on those PCB pins and then you can tighten that thumb screw. Pretty handy. And then you're ready to go. Let's see what else we got on here. So if you're looking at these switches, that top switch will be your aux, bottom will be your main. And all of the regular Proffie navigations are intact, obviously. I believe you're a Proffie board user, to you, the customer. So I'm not going to go heavily into Proffie board navigation, okay? There's that crystal chamber lit. Okay. Let's see what else we got on here.
Do you know Ezra Bridger? He's my friend.
Great looking hilt, great feeling hilt. Okay. That's it. That's the SKIG from 7Chambers, installed with a hybrid reveal chassis. Let's get one more last look at that chassis with the nicer camera here. So there's the chassis. Okay. But yeah. So that is it. To the customer, thank you very much for your patience and for trusting me with your build and install. If anyone has any questions about this particular chassis, or if anyone wants this chassis, let me know. Give me some feedback. I haven't added this to my online chassis index because I don't even know if the SKIG is still available from 7Chambers, but if anyone is interested, let me know and I will add it to the website, right? So that is all I've got. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.